Welcome to Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
And this week, it's time to gather all the good old 90s kids, plus a goat, for some good old-fashioned predictive sports movie.
Yeah, The Big Green from 1995.
In a place like Elma,
That's a code red.
a little news
I'm the new teacher.
No way!
can be a big event. And just one person
Well, why don't we just try something else?
can make a world of difference. The story of the worst soccer team
We don't play soccer.
to ever hit the field.
What'd you think about this movie, Dee?
This is worse than most of the sports movies.
Oh, come on, it's good fun. It's so much fun.
No, dude, it's so boring and long.
It is a little bit longer than it should be, because there's a lot of montages.
There's so many montages.
And the montages are long.
Oh, the whole last half of the movie, I'm just sitting there just like, okay, well.
I mean, yes. So it does have a lot of
And I mean
montages.
half of the movie. They're just playing sports. There's no plot. There's no nothing. It's just, here we are, we're playing soccer. Yay for us.
Yeah. It's just, it's a casual romp into 1990s sports movies, of which there are a lot of 1990s sports.
But this is like kind of the middle of them. This is what I'm saying. This one's fucked out. Like, they've already made all the good ones at this point.
I enjoyed the movie.
Okay, well, good for you.
I mean, not like, it's a fantastic movie, but
It's not a good movie.
It's a fun movie. It's got some fun.
It has some fun. That's the only thing that saved its life.
Well, and I think, honestly, they were just trying to cover all of the sports in the 90s. They had a few baseball movies. They had
Hockey,
hockey.
soccer. I don't think they did any football, though.
I feel like they did, but maybe not.
But it wasn't Disney, though. It was because,
Yeah.
Little Giants or whatever was non-Disney.
I think that I sometimes confuse this movie with Little Giants.
Yeah.
The girl part of it, I don't know. I think I get this movie confused with other movies sometimes.
Girls!
Yeah, girls and kids on their team.
They got little kids and girls on the team. This is not soccer. Remember, this is not soccer.
Okay, let me read the synopsis. The Big Green. Sports, family, comedy.
Whoa.
The biggest game in the world comes to the smallest town in America in this comedy about a group of bored misfits who become local soccer heroes. Nothing ever happens in Elma, Texas, at least not until British schoolteacher Anna Montgomery arrives. Determined to motivate her students, Anna decides to form a soccer team. She enlists the aid of out-of-shape Sheriff Tom Palmer, who agrees to coach the team so he can beat his old nemesis, the ruthless coach of big city bullies, the Knights.
So is the real moral of the story is if you get a hot piece of ass in your town, things start to grow and develop? Is that?
Yeah, it really is. And
Okay,
I mean, she brightens everybody's day.
Yeah.
Because that's
Everybody has to try harder when she's around.
even though she's supposedly only here for a semester, so I don't really know how that's going to work after this.
Long term, yeah, basically, literally right after this, she's like, I'm going back to England to my husband.
Yeah.
Cheerio.
Bye. So the director is also the writer,
Oh, yeah.
Holly Goldberg Sloan,
And the only other thing she really did was write Angels in the Outfield.
and Crocodile Hunter Collision Course.
That's not a real thing, though. That's like some compilation reality horse crap.
Well, and she did direct and write a movie called The Secret Life of Girls, which several of the people in this movie also were in.
That's not a ringing endorsement.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She's done some things.
Because it was multiple years later.
Yeah,
and
she's still done a few things.
She's like, hey, want to get the gang back together for the Secret Life of Girls?
Exactly.
With all the rest of you losers who've done nothing since this movie?
Yeah, exactly. She's just trying to do her part. She's trying to channel her Miss Montgomery and bring everyone together. She's just trying to help.
Miss Montgomery. So, and she did Made in America, which is a dumb movie with Whoopi Goldberg and Ted Danson from the 90s. She did write that movie, which is okay.
I haven't seen that movie. I think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
I can't say that you should see it. Went back when Whoopi Goldberg was funny, so.
Okay. So preview days.
Yeah, way in preview.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we had a dearth of actors in this. This movie runs like 3 deep. Three and a half.
You've got, first of all, peak Steve Guttenberg.
No, this is not the peak.
Okay.
This is the fall. This is Steve Guttenberg falling all the way to the earth and landing on his head.
You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
This is peak Steve Guttenberg. When you were a kid in the 90s, or like when you were a young lady, you thought either, depending on what age you were like, I want this guy to be my dad, or you were like, this guy is like peak somebody else's dad that I think is hot.
Oh.
Because this was like around the time he made It Takes Two, where he plays another dad.
Don't know that movie.
It's with him and Kirstie Alley, and he plays this rich guy, and it has the Olsen twins, and they like do a Parent Trap situation.
That sounds horrible.
No, it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's great.
Most of us know him from actual classics like Short Circuit, all the Police Academy movies.
It Takes Two is a classic, okay?
3 Men and a Baby, and the sequel.
I do love 3 Men and a Baby.
I mean, that's actual Guttenberg. That's where people know him. He was like one of the biggest actors of the 80s.
No, I know, but I'm saying as someone my age, you know Steve Guttenberg from this era of Steve Guttenberg.
And he's a terrible actor.
Well, I think about quitting show business 5 times a day because it's just a horrible grind.
He's really, really bad. Especially like the first 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah,
oh my, it's so...
He stinks.
You mean you don't believe his accent?
No, not a bit. The Hollywood Jew is a Texas sheriff. No, I'm not buying it somehow.
We got an APB out of Austin. Bank robbers heading this way, driving a Chevy. You see them?
Yeah. And his counterpart, Olivia...
Diabo,
is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, I have no idea.
The only thing that I just could not stop, I was like, oh, it's Karen from The Wonder Years.
Yeah, that's all she is. That's all she... Do you recognize really any of her other credits? I sure don't.
No, because all I could think about was, oh, it's the sister from The Wonder Years.
It's Karen.
Yeah, that's Karen. And she's definitely... I wonder if she actually British, or...
She's got to be. I think she has to be, because she's too good at it. And I think that's part of the reason why she didn't talk a lot in The Wonder Years, I think.
Because it'd be too recognizable.
Yeah.
I feel as though the J.O. Sanders guy, our villain, I feel like I've seen him in a lot of things, but nothing that I can really...
I wasn't really able to, like, put it down, so I just said being a dick. Like, that's how you know him, because he's in the movie being a dick.
Oh, is that actually the name of the movie?
No. That's his role in any movie he's in. He's being a dick.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, it's that dickhead guy from that movie. And I was just like, I'm not going to bring up any of these other movies because I haven't seen them.
Yeah, he was just in a ton of small, kind of, sort of B-level.
In some action movies that were A-level, but...
Yeah, but he does always play kind of the jerk guy.
Because that's his look on his fucking face. Everybody's like, oh, that guy's a dick.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the only other, we'll give it a half name, is Patrick Renna, the kid from The Sandlot and Son-in-Law. Because he's so recognizable.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're that fat ginger kid from the 90s. Like, I wonder how he feels about that being his biggest association.
I'm pretty sure he feels good about it. It has to have gotten him laid like 7,000 times.
Like, oh yeah, remember I was the goalie in the Big Green. I'll show you my Big Green.
No. It's The Sandlot. It's got to be Sandlot.
Yeah, and then the other kid who was in the Sandlot was Chauncey Leopardi. But he was also in the other role. He was like... In Father of the Bride, he was like the son's friend, Cameron. Anyways. But
I don't even remember which kid he was in The Sandlot.
Well, I haven't seen The Sandlot in a real long time, so I have no fucking idea. But like half these kids were in The Sandlot also.
Yeah, I wouldn't say half, but like 3 of them were.
Bug Hall, who played Newt, was also in Little Rascals.
Oh, that checks out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a fantastic movie.
It's a pretty good movie.
It's great. It's good.
So did you find any fun facts, Kat?
I found 2.
I found 1.
So, Steve Guttenberg gained 12 pounds for this movie.
So you got mine, so go ahead and tell your second one.
A whopping 12 pounds. This was the first live-action Disney movie to be directed by a woman.
Wow, that's actually shocking.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, because so many of them were written by women, and the first woman director, huh?
Of a live-action Disney movie, yeah.
Huh. That is surprising.
Yep.
All right.
That's all I got for those fun facts.
I'm bereft of fun, bereft of facts. So now let's Let's play our way into this movie.
Hopefully we don't have to do any penalty kicks.
Kick it down the field.
Yeah.
Open up with this goat opening that's really bizarre.
It's very strange.
Run down old shitty town.
This movie, I'll say right off the bat, it has a lot of very strange scene transitions. Like they cut off the scene, or they skipped a scene, or they cut something out because it just cuts from one thing to the next, and you just are kind of, oh, okay, that's what happened? All right, sure.
And so we meet this little gang of loser kids spreading Cheetos all over themselves so pigeons eat them off of them.
Because there's nothing to do in that town.
Which, I would argue that that's also nothing to do. But we meet Mrs. Hot Stuff Teacher, sees them and thinks that they're in trouble and hoses them off.
As she's still hosing them when there's no more birds on them. It's very bizarre.
Well, she's hosing the Cheeto off of them at that point.
Oh God, not Cheetos.
Well, we don't want to get that on anything else.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were in trouble. So you hosed us? Actually, I was trying to help. Well, thanks. I'm so sorry. What on earth were you doing? Eating the birds.
There's not much to do in Oma.
And it has like a weird sped up like camera situation.
So there is a lot of that with sound effects all over the place that don't make sense. Like, wait, what? What? Why are we doing this? What?
It's only used a few times. It's not consistent.
No. It's used a lot, but it's very inconsistent.
And it's not always the right choices.
Like when the teacher stopped, they made this like skid sound to her car that clearly didn't skid.
Yeah. It's a lot. But turns out she's the new exchange teacher, and they just can't believe it. What?
And they only have 2 classes in the town, little kids and big kids.
What is the defining point between a little kid and a big kid?
I think probably 6th or 7th grade.
Gotcha. Keeping the hormones separate.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, and like the ones that could like literally kill the other ones.
Yeah. But basically it just shows, the class is out of control. They're,
They're all really dumb. They got the worst test scores in the state.
For 4 years in a row.
Yeah, they're just, this is the biggest bunch of losers. None of their families have jobs except for the fat kid.
Oh, yeah, because what makes you special? My dad has a job.
Yeah, they got open alcoholic families with Kate carving up the desk with her goddamn knife.
Yeah, she's like, I'm hard because my parents are divorced. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to outside. All of a sudden, Guttenberg police. Well,
they hear the goat baz, and they say it's first recess. But then we cut to the kids like fucking with the cop.
Yeah, and I thought he was coming to the school.
So did
right?
I.
Okay,
no, not at all though.
No, and then because then it just cuts after that. After he's like, "Oh, you little midgets!" Oh,
and for some reason they just call him Deputy Dog, like Deputy Dog on
like DAWG.
Well, that was only in the subtitles. You'd never know that that's.
Oh,
what they were saying.
I guess that's true. Yeah. But they just keep calling him Deputy Dog for no point of context.
Right, and then we cut to they basically tell the cop that there's a hot new teacher in town. So he goes and stalks her while she's jogging. This is just gratuitous. Hey, look at what a hot body Olivia Diabo has. And here's Guttenberg being creepy.
And he's driving back and forth in front of her.
And driving backwards and forwards.
I'd be like, dude, would you stop? It's dusty as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
get the fuck away from me.
What are you doing? And she just is not interested. He's like, oh, I'm just chasing some bad guys in my arm, and pulls on his really...
I would not call her not interested. I would call her neutrally interested at this point.
Okay, maybe.
Like, maybe. This guy doesn't look like a complete alcoholic in this town.
Yeah.
You can call me Anna Montgomery, Sheriff Tom.
Oh, no, you can drop that, Sheriff Bart.
Right. Sorry, I can't help you.
But you notice at this first scene that was just sticking out because his accent was so horrible.
It's atrocious.
It just dropped through the rest of the movie.
I disagree. I think he kept trying to keep it up, but it would fall out sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But this one, he was trying real hard.
It was laid on pretty thick here, and I think most of the coaching scenes it was laid on pretty thick.
So they go to a gas station, and Kate's dad shows up.
And he wants welfare gas.
Yeah, and he's like chewing out the gas station owner.
Like, why aren't you giving me free gas? This is America.
Like, she has no bills to pay, and she basically calls him out and is like, yeah, we all have problems, fuck off.
Yeah.
And he just drives away. And leaves his...
Fine, I'm not gonna go out chasing booty tonight.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Leaves his daughter there, who was making goo-goo eyes with his Spanish kid.
Yeah, with the new El Salvadorian soccer star.
And it doesn't take long till next day at school. He's showing off his headbutting skills because they're all talking crap to him about, the teacher is showing off her headbutting skills.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Well, because they're all snoozing during geography class. She just takes the globe off of the stand and starts heading the globe and kicking it. And she's like, let's go outside and practice. Let's do something else.
Yeah, because, that's what you would do.
So, and then everybody's like totally down to become a soccer team. All immediately, they're just ready, and then they have to go play a game the next day against the best team.
Because that's how that works.
And the Knights, who are the most stereotypical badass movie team with perfect uniforms, a hard ass coach. Yeah. I mean, this is a page right out of Air Bud. Yeah. Mighty Ducks.
And they didn't have enough players at first.
At all. Yeah. And so they wanted Juan, but his mom's like, no.
Yeah, she's a fucking horrible bitch.
She is a bitch.
Because he's like, Mom, I want to play soccer. Like, oh God, what a horrible thing for a kid to want to do.
So instead they get little Newt.
Yeah. But did you hear what his mom said, though? She was like, you shouldn't make friends. You'll just be disappointed.
Well, no, because she said they weren't going to be in this town for very long.
I know.
They were like moving on, so don't get attached is all she was trying to say. Which is, I mean, kind of fair, but really not fair.
No, it's a horrid thing to say.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But yes, they get little Newt, who's from the little kids class. He's like, yeah, I'll do whatever. I'm Newt.
I'm cool. I'm a garbage picker.
Yeah.
Salvage kid.
He lives at the salvage yard.
Or just, I think, around town. I don't even know if he actually has a house.
No, he went to the salvage yard.
To go home?
No, when the sheriff came to pick him up, he was at the salvage yard.
Oh, so maybe his dad's just the salvage man.
He lives in the junkyard.
Awesome. Way to go, Newt.
So they have to just go play a game, but none of them know the rules. They don't
know how to play at all, really.
And of course they suck, and there's a montage of them getting scored on, and...
Right, and the coach is like, oh, little kids, girls, fuck these guys, a bunch of... And he has a fucking sword for some reason in his camera, and I can't get past the sword. Like, what the fuck? Like, if that guy was coaching against my kids, or just coaching my kids in that sword, I'd be like, as soon as he was turning around watching the game, I'd steal the fucking sword and he'd never get it back.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah, it's like, dude, no, you can't be roaming the sidelines with a fucking sword.
So Larry, big redheaded kid, they choose him to be goalie, but he ducks out of the way every time the ball comes, which is a tropey thing for these movies.
It really is.
But I did appreciate his little visions, the things coming at him.
Kelly laughed every single time there was one.
I thought it was cute.
Especially when for some reason they ran a montage of them for no reason.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
It was funny. I enjoyed it.
But that's what I'm saying, is that even if it was enjoyable to you, which, to each their own, it didn't make any fucking sense. Like, to just all of a sudden, here's a montage of all of his...
They just needed more meat for the story, and they couldn't...
No, there was meat that they could have put in the story, and they didn't. They just left it off the bone. They were like, it's fine. I don't need that meat.
Yeah, because they kept going back to these super serious things involved.
But see, they could have kind of... They could have dug into some of the serious things and been a little bit more focused. The Kate story could have been more focused.
And the Juan
Juan story could have been more focused, and the Kate and Juan thing could have been a little more focused.
And they could have had a third kid story going on, maybe.
I feel like Larry's story was the third kid story that it got the proper amount of attention for the third story.
Yeah.
Because you met his dad and mom and kind of saw his house and you kind of got an idea of his life.
So she starts training them with running. She's like, you gotta have to run for an hour to be good at soccer.
Which really, if you have a bunch of dumb kids like this is what you should do with most of their school days. Just run them. They will get smarter.
Well, they get more focused because they get all their energy out.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
All of their energy gets put into an activity.
Yeah.
And there's some weird... Okay, I completely forgot about this until I read this note. There's a really wackadoodle fucking scene of the sheriff...
yeah. Right after they run,
for
some reason, the sheriff is letting each of the kids take a turn driving the car out in the country doing, like, donuts and fields of wheat.
It's kind of funny, but
it's
why?
funny, but it makes no sense.
No, it's just because
is it just to show that this is why everybody loves Tom is because he lets kids do shit like this?
Yeah, it's like a callback to the Doctor and Amy, where he's letting the kids drive the carriage.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean, kinda, yeah.
So no, this is Disney just has this like library Dewey Decimal System of tropey things to put in their movies, and it's
like, how about adults let kids drive cars?
Yeah, check. Because they're like, we need a filler scene here. What are we going to do? And
Section 400.15.
Okay, what does it say? Oh, perfect. Okay, we're going to throw that in there. That's what they do.
It does make as much sense as it being in there in general.
So the next day at school, this is where they're talking shit to Juan, and they're like, oh, God, he like, I don't even know what they were telling him.
Right before this, she was telling Kate that she's not just knife girl, she's actually smart and can do it.
Yeah.
Then they start talking shit to Juan.
Yeah, and he's just kicks Larry's ass, basically, and they're like, oh my God, you have to play. He's like, I can't, it's a family thing.
So then they all go into the trailer and beg the mom.
Yeah.
She finally says yes after like, oh, we'll take care of him, we'll watch after him, he's not going by himself.
Yeah, and...
Which actually, that checks out quite a bit.
That they would just...
that's like part of what the mom is thinking is like, oh, I'm sending my kid to the big city by himself, but that's not really how it is.
No, never.
Yeah.
So then they have another game, right?
Yeah, where Larry doesn't goalie once again.
But Kate scores a goal.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be taking advantage of the mismatch that Juan creates.
Yes.
And she scores a goal and she's like proud.
I do appreciate about this movie, though, that it wasn't just like Juan just scoring.
Right.
It was more like him passing and them being better as a team.
Yeah.
Which is how...
And she's like, next time we're going to win.
How good players do with their teams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because her dad is all, oh, did you win? And she's like, no.
Yeah. And she's like, no, but next time I'm going to. And then there's this weird rain play montage where all the parents are watching practice.
We also haven't talked about the music that's going on in this movie. So this
is where the music starts.
Well, there was a song at the very beginning, too.
Oh, I don't recall.
I know, it's okay. Insert here.
Don't seem to stop. Remember, good things fall from heaven. Ain't no time for giving up. Everybody loves.
But no, there's some wholesome rain music where it's like the rain will come out.
It's called Sunny Side Up. That's all I know is that it's like, I prefer things when the sunny side up.
Well, so a lot of these songs have the same writer, and I think they literally just said, okay, we're going to have a scene where there's going to be parents and kids playing in the mud, and we need a fun song to go in there. It needs to be inspirational as fuck.
Yeah.
And then he wrote that song. But yeah, the parents are all tossing around in the mud.
And so this is a very long montage.
Yeah.
Very long. The goat, for some reason, is kicking the ball every once in a while in this.
Yeah.
They, like, zoom up and shows little goat foot kicking the ball.
Original Air Bud.
Yeah.
Oh, and
they left a lot on the table with that.
Yeah.
The for some reason, unnamed goat.
But then at the end, they give him a name.
Oh, yeah. It's like Edwin or something.
Yeah, it's like Edwin or Larry or something.
No, Larry's the kid.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Damn it, Kelly.
Kid, goat, same thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole town becomes obsessed with the big green.
Yeah, and with soccer, they they show this little montage in the bar, and every parent except for Kate's loser dad has like soccer magazines or like how to coach soccer or this is soccer. The whole town is in on big green. So they end up coming up with
they get shoes.
They get shoes and shirts that are homemade and.
Then there's a long-ass game montage. The longest.
Yeah. Yeah, right prior to this, they mow the lawn with the cows and he slips and poop.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're dead!
Yeah, which is one of the only funny scenes. I had to throw it in there. So then, that starts the longest games montage of all time.
Oh, God, pass it. Ooh, And then all of a sudden, we flash forward and they've made it to the finals.
Well, that's the thing. It's so long of a montage that they went 11-0. They just dominated for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Well, here we are. And suddenly the coach for the Knights shows up in town.
He's a tax auditor, apparently.
Runs into Kate and Larry's dads in the bar.
And gets Kate's dad drunk so he can tell him about Juan's mom being an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, he's like, the Mexican.
But
fucking racist little bastard.
Why would Kate's dad know that Juan's mom was an illegal immigrant?
In small towns, those things just, they get around.
I
don't even think he knew. He was just talking shit because he's a racist bastard.
Correct, sir.
Because later on he calls him that Mexi kid.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think he knows. I just think that he assumes just because that's who they are. He's like, oh yeah, those people are illegal.
Yeah, so of course.
So it gave the idea to the coach to turn them in as illegals, and then Goody has to go follow up and investigate.
Yeah, and so the mom, even though he was supposedly going to help her, but then the mom panics and
freaks out, which is usually a bad move always, to panic.
Yeah. And then it's the sheriff's looking for them, but it's also game day, and they magically get their official uniforms on the last game of the season.
Yeah, in the finals.
Same
everybody's suiting up, and Kate's like, Juan would want me to win.
And then there's a hard rock song.
That's right. What's it called? As Long as We Can Walk.
What are you all staring at? Come on, let's get going. We gotta have something from
We're still gonna kick you some ass as long as we can walk.
Yeah, because she's all depressed, and the teacher, and then Miss Montgomery has to talk to her, and that's what like you said, she says, Juan would want me to win, and then she's like,
like the cheesiest. And see, this is the mid-90s, and they're playing a mid-80s cheesy ass, not a real rock song, but one that was written for this movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, it is bad and so out of place.
Yeah, and when they're at the game, again, with the coach with a fucking sword, and everybody in the crowd has a fucking sword.
Well, those are at least fake swords. This dude has a real sword that he's swinging around, oh yeah, I'm sword man.
Yeah, and
he's just rife to cut his dick off with that or cut off a toe or something.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the game, he bets Miss Montgomery. He's like, oh, after the game, if I win, you owe me a kiss.
I'm recently divorced.
And
a douchebag.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, but if we win, you have to kiss our goat. And that's where she says the name, but I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Edwin.
Edwin. Yeah. He's also recently divorced.
Yeah. I'm so funny. So they have to play without Juan because the referee's like, we need to do this. And there's a long amount of scoring, and then Kate's dad shows up, and everybody's like, oh, Kate's dad.
Yeah, and it's very dramatic, and
and she smiles for the first time ever.
Oh my god, my dad! Maybe I won't have daddy issues and become a stripper.
And so they then cuts down to they're down 2-0 at halftime.
But last time they lost to this team 18-0.
Yeah, it was 10-0.
Even though I'm pretty sure with soccer, if you're down by 10 goals, they call the game.
Slaughter. The game resumes, and with 15 minutes left, Juan shows up.
You feeling better, Ocho?
The team pukes and rallies. They tie the game. And we're
crazy.
Going into penalty kicks. Oh my god. And they have this announcer.
We're just going to skip
around.
We're just going to skip overtime.
So I don't think that's how it works in soccer championships.
You have to play overtime.
Yeah.
It's just, I think maybe not though. I thought you played a 5-minute overtime, and then if that didn't...
I think it's 15.
Oh, yeah.
And then 15, and then PKs. But for some reason, I'm thinking, and I could be totally wrong, this is just half-assed coming out of my ass. I thought in championship games they just skip to the penalty kicks, but I could be totally wrong.
No, you could be 100% correct.
Yeah, because I think it's like one of those unsatisfying things about soccer, but I'm not sure.
No, you're 100% correct.
No, I'm not 100% correct. No,
I mean,
I could be correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I could be correct.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm saying it's half-assed right now, but... So, yeah, they're going straight to PKs. They have 4 kickers for the little giant... Everybody,
5.
The little green. Well, no. They need the 4th. And little Newt's like... He whips his dick out. He's like, I can do it.
I got a great kick. Blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, and then the coach is like, okay.
He's like, I'm low to the ground. I'm powerful. And I'm not scared. Which really, truly is the most important thing. Because one of the kids they do pick is scared.
Yeah. And so it's very dramatic, back and forth, and da-da-da. And Larry saves goals, misses goals. The other guy misses goals and saves goals. And then it all comes down to Newt. Although
Larry slays the monster with him being a monster.
Yes.
Which I would have rather him become a dragon than whatever the fuck he was.
He was like a Viking Native American. Yeah, he was wearing
weird.
like a Native American headdress. It was very strange.
Yeah.
But yes.
So he slays the monster, which is the coach's kid, and the other coach, the Knights coach, is basically wanting to kill himself at this point.
Yeah. He's like, there's just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's more weird inspirational music.
But Newt wins it. He gets his kick.
Wins the day.
He wins his kick. The coach kisses the goat. Tom sneaks in like one of the rapiest kisses I've ever seen at the end of the movie on
Miss Montgomery.
Yeah,
and
it was like gross.
It was pretty gross.
Because right after that, Miss Montgomery just like straight up kissed another lady right on the lips. It just made their kiss seem really weird and uncomfortable. She's like, dude, I have to go back to my husband in England. What are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much. And then they get their billboard and they're famous.
Yeah, so their billboard is junior soccer champions and best in state test scores. No!
Oh, I didn't see the best in
That was like on a little banner across the thing.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So she turned the town around. She saved the day.
You can save the day with a hot piece of ass.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the moral of the story. So we talked about the songs. We know all about Sunny Side Up and As Long as We Can Walk.
And I Believe in You. That was the opening song, was I Believe in You.
Okay.
However it goes.
I believe you. I believe you.
I don't remember.
I believe in you and I believe you.
Anything about it.
Yeah, I couldn't recall. The characters, I mean, let's be honest. There's no real character.
No. The only thing I'll say is with
there's the douchebag other coach is a good villain.
I was going to say, Disney definitely certainly knows how to capture, especially in these sports movies. Like, think about how douchey the other coach was in Mighty Ducks.
Well, that's a whole nother level of awesome.
I know,
douchebag, or the bad guy in Air Bud that hits the kid.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They know how to capture.
That's really how you do it. But this is like the cheesy way to do it.
Well, it's because you know what we need? We need like a Disney Odd Pod scale of douchebag youth sports coaches.
I agree with that.
What is the scale?
You know what I really wish they had in these movies was the douchebag parents, but we have to just deal with the coaches.
Well, it could be just like douchebag sport.
But none of these movies have the douchebag parent, really. The one guy that takes his Kim from the Ducks to
think about my dad from Blank Check. He's a fucking douchebag.
Oh, yeah.
He's like low on the scale, though. Yeah. And you have the guy from Heavyweight. He's a fun douchebag. Like, just saying.
We might have to make this.
We need to make a scale. We could just cut out pictures of their heads and then, like,
oh, yeah, totally.
Move the movie on the scale.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have all the kids, and we've already talked about...
The kids... They cycle in and out so fast that it's hard to get a beat on them.
Well, only 3 of them continued acting after this.
Who?
Or 4 of them, excuse me.
Larry, Newt,
Juan, and...
Juan, really? Okay.
And the other kid that I named earlier. He's the kid with the glasses.
Isn't that Newt?
No. The brunette kid. Newt is like the little tiny kid. He's like...
No, I know.
He was at the beginning with the birds and the Cheetos.
Oh yeah, but I can't really recall that guy. You know?
Well, he's one that Larry. There's one scene where Larry's talking to him in the goal, and he's like, "I get scared," and he's like, "You're a complicated guy, Larry." Yeah, he has done some other stuff, but
fair enough.
The cinematography was just very distracting with those weird sped up scenes. It was a low budget movie. It was shitty. Oh yeah, it was. I didn't really get any Moochie moments for this.
This movie can't qualify for that.
I kind of liked Larry's visions, so I'll say that if I have to pick one.
No way.
But that's just me. What's your biggest surprise or disappointment?
Too many montages. It's so long and so short on story.
So was that a surprise or a disappointment or both?
It's a disappointment.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm not surprised at all. How many lines does Olivia d'Abo's character really have in this movie? Because she has 20 at the beginning and then maybe 6 for the last half of the movie.
No, for sure.
She just drops off the face of the earth.
Well, they all kind of drop
off. And really Goody, too. I
mean,
because it's all stupid fucking montages.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a much better movie if they would have, the beginning of the movie is definitely better than the second half of the movie.
Yeah. It's almost going somewhere in the beginning if Guttenberg wasn't so fucking terrible as an actor.
Yeah, he's just, he's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just honestly surprised that Disney kept pumping out these sports movies in the 90s, and now you have, no sports movies.
They did so well with the Mighty Ducks, they had to just keep running them forward for a while.
Well, it's not just the Mighty Ducks. I mean, there's Angels in the Outfield, Rookie of the Year, there's all these other sports movies.
Mighty Ducks was the one, that was the engine that turned the crank, because they made so much money off that fucking movie.
Yeah.
That they had to just, they were taking swings. They had to keep taking swings at it.
Yeah. It was just, it was a lot. But I will say that I still think it's a good, fun movie, even though it's not that good of a movie.
I would knock out good. It's fun. It is fun. I won't say it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Fun to be had by all.
Your kids will maybe like it.
This is good for the 8 to 10 age range.
If your kids like soccer, they will like watching.
Yeah, it's good for that 7 to 10 age range.
I would say 6 to 10, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Remaking this movie, I would play the story, just actually dig in. A whole lot less montages and a lot more wow, we won our last 5 games cutout scene. So I like the Informa scene more than the huge montages in this.
And maybe they just flash to Kate's dad being and throwing bottles or something.
Because you know what? This is a worse first half of The Rookie.
Yeah, kind of.
Really, because it's almost exactly the same movie as the first half of The Rookie when he's doing the kids thing.
A little bit,
and this is just a worse version of it.
So, I don't know that I would want a remake. I think I want a prequel that's called The Medium Green. And it's Miss Montgomery's story before she came to... how did she come to do foreign exchange semester in this fucking dinky-ass town in Texas?
I think the problem is that you just get assigned a place and you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, but I want to know her story.
There wasn't the internet back then. You're just oh, Texas, okay, great.
But how was she so good at soccer? I'm just saying.
That's what girls learn to play.
I want the medium green.
Okay. Or what about the emerald green? Because it's from the Emerald Isles.
Fine, the medium emerald green.
Okay.
And she's doing Amy style. She's fleeing from a horrible husband to America.
Hey, I almost feel like that's this, but we just don't get into it. But whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how she became there. And she used to have a kid that played soccer, but then the kid died in a horrible soccer accident where he was stampeded by...
I think she might have been a little too young for that, but okay.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, go, please, if you got anything else.
It's just wholesome fun.
Boo this story.
Boo this story. Not quite a fuck this movie, but a boo this story.
Yeah, it's just a boo this story.
Boo, Wendy. Boo, Wendy Testaburger, boo.
Refugees from Syria should be considered in need of international protection.
Boo, Wendy, boo. Boo, Wendy.
So did you get a budget for this movie?
Boo, Wendy, boo.
Boo this story.
$12 million. That's like nothing.
And how much did they make?
$17,736,000.
Yeah, which is barely a profit.
Yeah.
This movie just is like... So what do you... No. So what's your score for this movie, Kat?
So this movie's not good. I give it a slightly above middle of the road score because I think it's fun. I gave it a 53%.
Whoa!
Or 5.3 out of 10 wholesome rock songs.
Wow, that is out-fucking-rageous. I give this movie a 34%. It's fun.
Whoa.
It's fun, but this is a bad movie.
It's not a good movie, but also I watched this movie kind of a lot when I was a kid, so
So that checks out. I mean, I get that. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is?
I'm going to guess a 42%.
The Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is 0.
With the critics?
A 0.
They gave it a 0?
A flat fucking 0.
It's not that bad.
A tomato rotten ass 0. With the people, it's 46.
Yeah.
So it blends us. But the critics...
Wait, so is it actually 0 or is there no critic score?
It is an actual 0.
What the fuck?
There is an actual O next to this movie, which makes sense because there's no critic in the 90s that's reviewing this positively.
Well, hold on. I
don't care.
Hold, please. One second.
I'll hold.
Well, technically, there's 5 critics that reviewed it in the 90s, but...
Hard O.
You might also enjoy Jack Frost, George of the Jungle 2, and 3 Ninjas Kick... And Blank Check. Hold on.
This was more enjoyable than Blank Check.
Real quick, let's just see what Roger Ebert has to say about this movie.
Okay.
In the right role, Olivia Diabo would be irreplaceable. She has never found that role. Here, struggling gamely with the hopelessly predictable Big Green, she shows a quality that in another role, in another picture, could be luminous.
It could be.
Wow.
Could be.
So really you're saying it's all her fault?
No. It's the movie maker's fault for not building the movie around her, which I kind of agree with.
Amen. I'm just saying, what happened to her before? That's what I'm interested in.
She could have been an Amy and been...
Okay.
Whatever. All right. So, now it's time for Kat's favorite part of the podcast.
Let's do it.
Do it. Godfather's Pizza. So we get number 41.
Why do I feel like we've already gotten this number before?
Easily could have. I mean, we're getting to that place. Because we have. It was the Shaggy Dog.
Okay, I'm not crazy. I was like, I feel like we've gotten the number before. Okay.
So now it's number 283, which I also oddly feel like we've gotten before, but...
Whoa.
Maybe not.
Whoa. 283.
Yeah, a little whiplash for you. Oh, no, we haven't gotten this. 283
is in the 90s?
No, it's in the 2000s.
Oh.
It's actually 2 movies after Sky High.
That's not really a good thing. I mean, this isn't like the Disney floundering era when they didn't really know their identity.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's probably true with this too. So we'll go number 283 from 2005, The Greatest Game Ever Played.
I know what this movie is, never seen it, but I do know what this movie is.
I feel like it has to be a football movie. It's the greatest game ever played. Maybe a basketball movie.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, no, it's some other dumb thing like soccer or some shit. Or some stupid war games kind of thing.
You'll just have to find out. I've never seen it, but I do remember when it came out. I remember seeing the trailers for it.
It's the greatest video game ever played.
Yeah, man. Totally. It's
yeah. Next week, greatest game ever played. If you want to subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Disney Odd Pod.
Leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Not bloody, 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 blah. Well, do the thing.
Everybody knows the thing.
Though? Yeah. This could be their first time. They're like, oh my god, I love The Big Green. It was my favorite movie. And now they're like, fuck you, I hate you because you didn't like my movie.
Well, yeah, we maybe don't want them doing the bloody blah thing. If you want to send us an email, disneyoddpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
But in the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
Bye. Okay, just a second.
Just a second here. Hang on now. Let's just wait a minute. What? That's the non-spoiler side.
I know, but that's where my foot goes.
That's where my foot goes, sir.
My foot goes there, not your paper. I'm so sorry, sir.
Reserved foot pork and right. Will you please order yourself a new one? When we're done with this, such a waste.
What?
I mean, you can keep doing that if you want, I guess.
It's not that ghetto. It's only like 75% ghetto.
6 out of 10 kind of shitty.
Yeah, we still got 4 out of 10 to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready. Are you?
I don't know if I like these or don't like these.
That's kind of good, right?
Do you need to open yours?
Sure.
Yeah, those are weird. Okay. What the fuck, man?
I think they're better when it's like warm or if you've worked out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay open. Okay.
Do the thing.
It just keeps closing. I don't know.
You're right.
Okay. I'm ready if you're ready.
I am, so